It happens, dude.
What's up, everybody? This is the Grand Line Gazette, where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. We are now on TikTok. Follow us.
Mm-hmm.
We'd
Mm-hmm.
enjoy
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff there too. And yeah, we're going to talk about episode 1130, the flashback, the God Valley, the Enter the
Oh
Rocks
yeah.
Pirates, the Kuma tragedy story, the Here It Comes Ginny, the Ivankov hero salute, the young lady Big Mom episode. There's a lot going on in this episode. We're gonna try not to talk about it too much because obviously we got other videos to make from this. So you guys let us know how you felt. We're gonna let you know how we felt. That's Kev. I'm Corey. As a switch up, I'm gonna start it off. We're doing a little flashback, and this is from Kuma's perspective. So I think
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be a thing that they do the whole arc or flashback arc leading up to Kuma saving his daughter Bonnie. Because that's going to be the thing he sees, that's going to be the thing he focuses on. And like these little flashbacks through his eyes are just like showing like his trauma obviously from his perspective, so you can kind of get like an emotional standpoint before the episode starts, but it does lead towards the end of the episode, which I'm gonna wrap it all up towards the end, but I just wanted to say that, but the episode really starts with Kuma meeting Ivankov. Kev, how we feel about this scene?
I mean, this is the start of a friendship here. I mean, as we know from the people who read the manga, like we know that this is the start of the Revolutionary Army here, or between these three. But Ivankov and Ginny kind of roll up and kind of give him the 411 of what's about to happen or what's going on here, really. And they're about to all dip out because we're about to get the overview of the game rules from the celestial dragons themselves. So they just release everyone, all of the playthings, aka humans.
And we get
And
some
we're
introductions here too, because not only do we see Garling again, but we see that
Mhm.
Myanmar, or Myanmar, or Manmayer family. You know what I mean? One of them's a country, one of them's a
Mhm.
person in the show, but that's what we meet. We meet this girl. We've made a video about her family, the Celestial Dragon family, how that could be one of Kunko's family members, and that might be the family she's from. If you're interested in that, check out that video. But yeah, we see some interesting God's Knights from the past.
Interesting, and I like them like fully colored out as well. I think they have great character design here. But you do, and you have the rules being broken out. You have X number of rare bunnies or rabbits, X number of great rabbits. They all have a different point scale to them. You have Saturn, who's kind of overlooking in his chair, just watching the games. It really gives me like ancient Roman king times, like
Which
where the
makes you
king is
wonder,
just
it's like, does
watching.
a different Celestial Dragon show up every 3 years? Like, and this is
Ooh,
Saturn's
true.
turn, and that's why he's more connected to it. You know what I mean?
I like that. I guess now with the recent chapter being released, like is Emu just does it really matter who is there as long as Emu gets to watch, and that's more of Emu's want.
Like
But
watching
that's a
through
great
them, like kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, because I guess you would always see the peer view, but that would help with the mystique of the Gorosei. So you're not
Hmm.
seeing the same one, you're not getting familiar.
Hmm.
It also is just like this brings more weight to it being all on Saturn's watch. Like, you know what I mean? He's the Gorosei that fucked up, that caused all of this. Because God Valley's
Hmm.
his fault. Egghead's his fault. O'Hara's his fault. Like, all these things are kind of his fault.
Or by design. But we'll see in time about that one. Then we kind of break away from Egghead, God Valley, to a conversation. I forget this admiral's name. He's the fleet admiral before Sakazuki though.
Yeah.
Kong,
I think it is. It's Kong.
Kang, Kong, Kong's
Nice.
on the snail phone with Garp, and Garp's just chilling out on the beach catching some rays with some honeys. You know, he's like, hey, put 2 burgers and a hot dog. I'm hungry on the grill. And,
Yeah, he over here
but he's on
looking
the
like Tito from Rocket Power, just chilling out.
yeah, but bro's like, I told you guys not to touch Hachinosu. You guys know what happens. That's the pirate homeland. You guys are just kicking the beehive. Obviously, that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. But he's
Double
like, but
entendre
they,
too. It's like that's the island's name, and it's like you really are riling up the pirates because you stole the
yeah.
gem of Hachi no Su. So it's like they're not gonna not retaliate. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, and Roger's going." He's like, "Well, why didn't you start with that? Like,
It's
what are
like
we doing with all this exposition? Just tell me what's going on."
if you want to get Corey interested in an Admiral video, just talk about Smoker. Start with that. Start with Smoker.
If we see him later, Bogart.
Bogart. Hey,
Bro, hey,
Bogart, one
hey,
of those.
hey, and he got the katana. Bro, I know all these powerhouses we're getting introduced to. Yeah, Bogart, one of them ones.
Bogart, one of one. Like this motherfucker, just crazy. Um, and as the Celestial Dragon said, like these guys have like an hour head start, I guess. But I feel like this rule is just easily broken because then you also see Celestial Dragons shooting people in the back right after he says this.
Yeah, well,
So
it's like
maybe
you
an
gotta
hour has
imagine you got a
passed.
city like the size of Phoenix, or maybe
Yeah,
Tucson, because it's like wider and it's just flatter. You know what I mean? So it's just
yeah.
you can't see everything. Like there's gonna be
Well,
people in alleyways like straight up stabbing people. Like yeah,
that and it's like these celestial dragons are not for rules. They're like, no, no, no. You forget. I make the rules. I don't follow the rules. That's the difference.
that's true.
But Ivankov gives like a speech to the group that they're in, which is Kuma, Bonnie, and Ivankov, and then a group of miscellaneous humans. But he's like, no, the only reason you are here and the only reason you said that they told you you had a chance is so that you ran because it's not that fun to shoot a stationary target. But
Ivankov
this
is
is
like this. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to, cause when you get introduced to Ivankov, you're like getting used to who he is. But like,
mhm,
this is the kind of shit where you're like, yeah, bro. Like, he's like, stop trying to plan to survive the game and plan to escape the game and survive when you're free. Like,
yeah.
that's the goal. You guys ain't looking big picture. And like that actually stops Kuma. He's like, yeah, damn. I haven't even thought about not being a slave in a long ass time. Which
I
leads
mean,
us to
and then
Ginny.
we find out later that Kuma's been a slave since for about 5 years, more than half his life. So if you asked him, like that's just what he knows. That's
We
you
do
know,
get a
just
confirmed age of how old he is, 9 years old at the time. So yeah,
mhm.
he's going through some shit.
Yeah.
But
Darling's already
I
at
want
a
to talk about
hundred
Ginny
thousand
right now
points.
because Ginny has a lot
But
of Bonnie like qualities. She looks like just from this first interaction where she's on the transponder snail radio kind of thing, hacking her way in, you're like, oh, every time we see Bonnie, she's like sneaking in somewhere. She's being mischievous. She's like gathering intel. Like that's a very Ginny like quality. And I think a lot of these qualities Ginny has um, are very similar to Bonnie in a way. Um,
sure.
Now, I think there's a certain part that goes to Kuma, but I'm trying to figure out what part of Kuma rolled over to Bonnie. You know what I mean? Like, is it the determination? Is it just, not wanting to see other people die? Because Kuma, that's basically Kuma's whole thing. When Ivankov's giving his speech, he's like, somebody's got to be the distraction. Kuma's like, I'll be the distraction because I kind of just don't want to see anybody die. Going back to a memory where you look through his eyes and he sees his parents and he's like, I don't want to see anybody die because I'm remembering from my perspective what that feels like. I want to try to prevent that. And it's very much like, and I'm going on this topic, but it's very much like he wants to be like Nika. Just like the
Sure.
giants that we're getting
Mhm.
introduced to in the Elbaf arc in the manga, his goal is to be like Nika, his perspective of Nika, which is just to be the hero. You know what I mean? Shoulder the burden. Be Naruto.
I do like that, and we still have more questions to answer because I'll have to go back and read the manga about this chapter too. But how does she know about the Azure Dragon and the Pawpaw Fruit? She
That's
knows
her hacking thing. That's like her telecoms. She's been hacking the
she's just been
military.
listening
Yeah.
to
Cuz
people. Okay,
yeah, cuz like the military
eavesdropping
like we have specific cargo. Yeah.
frequencies.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And so she was hacking that kind of shit.
But
At
that,
her
yeah,
young
and
age,
so
that's why I'm bringing it up. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
impressive. It's impressive.
Or like, does she have an inn? So that's where I'm thinking like
You're always looking for a
somebody has to
traitor.
be. I'm because they're always here. They're always here. But like, does she know the other four pieces,
I
or
think she does. I think she knows
Is
all of
this
them.
information that Kuma will eventually give us now that we're in Elbath? Like, actually, you guys know of two of the six. Here's the other four, and it's like, oh shit, like
One
these are
hundred
the
percent. Like
options.
I think she does know the other ones, but it's like she's like the other ones can't get us off the island right now.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean? We need to get off the island
exactly.
now.
Yeah,
Good point.
because the other four are probably like powerful. Don't get me wrong. We've theorized Quake and shit like that, but who knows? Um, but Kuma, I mean, we're like they're all making a plan. Like, hey, we need one person who steps up for the group and who kind of takes the charge. And then Kuma's like, well, I think I can take the most pain here. I think that makes the most sense that I'm the one who goes. And then they're like, oh, Kuma, that's perfect. Which is super sad. Fuck.
Yeah.
But
But the next thing that we get introduced to is the Rocks Pirates. And
mhm,
anybody in the comments below, let us know how you guys felt about the theme for these Rocks Pirates. I'm imagining they're gonna be on a playlist soon where Samuel Kim,
oh yeah,
that's the guy that does all the epic versions of all these songs and shit like that. He makes it. It's gonna go on my TikTok where I upload Marvel Rivals videos. So it's coming soon.
nice.
But this song is very similar to the Straw Hat song. Um, in the pre-show, I was telling Kev a little bit about it, but for me, if a song is similar to the Straw Hats, it makes me feel like these are like the heroes, and they are kind of coming to save the day. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm like, what are like who are these Rocks Pirates? Like the military doesn't like them. It doesn't like to talk about them. But who are they really? You know what I mean? Only people
Well,
that have said they've been like dastardly and like horrible, like and despicable, are military members. And all these members of the Rocks Pirates are family first, family focus. Like I don't know, there's something there.
and it is interesting because we only know what they've become. We were talking as well, like we don't know if these are good guys sitting right here now because what they're doing is here to get the treasure, but they happen to be doing the good thing, which is stopping a mass murder genocide. But
Uh,
they don't. Maybe they don't really care about that part. But I mean,
Weapon
I
X
find that
is not the same as the principal from Wolverine and the X Men. You know what I mean? There's some stuff that goes on in between that before Wolverine becomes a teacher. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, yeah, like these people right now could be like mass murderers, and then be like, you know what? Maybe that's not it.
We haven't delved even deeper into the God Valley in the manga, but this is also
Let's
where
list
I'm
them off real
expecting.
quick. Let's list them off real quick. Edward
These are
Newgate,
my-
Whitebeard.
Oh
We
yeah,
have Stussy, the original. I don't think this is the clone. That's Kev's theory. We have
this isn't the clone.
Glorioso, the former Kuja Empress. We have Big Mom. We have Shiki. We have young version of Kaido, and we have John from the Captain John's Treasure Buggy Wanted. He's blocked off by my picture, but hey, it is what it is. Um,
And we have two unnamed people as well. Well, not unnamed, but we don't see them in this picture yet, and that's the Axe Rayleigh. No, not Axe Rayleigh. The guy who had Hachinosu. That Blackbeard took him. Blackbeard took Hachinosu from him.
oh, um, um,
They're in the bottom left at
is it? Oh, it's
in
Wang Ji.
Wang Ji.
Wang Ji and another person, Big Mom's sidekick, who was always running around, following her around. I forgot that guy. Strusen. Um,
Mm.
let's see. That being said, there's some stuff I want to talk about in this picture itself. The first thing that comes to mind is Big Mom's fire Prometheus. Um, the most powerful one of her homies also is the one we saw Mother Caramel use in the flashback to like an explosive like size, like the same as like Ace would be using pre-time skip. Like we saw Mother Caramel do that, and now that's like her go-to homie. I feel like that's the most powerful. I don't know how you feel about that idea.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, there had to be a first one, and with what was his name, Goldberg. Uh, he has his homie for a very long time, so I wouldn't mind. Like, what if their age determines their strength?
Yeah.
Like, the longer they've been alive, like that kind of
What if
determine.
Prometheus has like the personality of Mother Caramel? Like that's where the
I do
most
like
influence
that,
is.
and I like the background of Prometheus because Prometheus in mythology is like the stolen flame from Mount Olympus. So it's like, who did Big Mom steal it from? Was it Mother Carmel? Stuff like that. So I do like that idea quite a bit. But put it down in the comment section if you want us to kind of delve deeper into that.
Three, four, five, six. We got six more people. Let's speed blitz through them. How we feel about Gloriosa? Gloriosa.
Not bad. I think she's cool. We know her as an old hag now, but she looks like Nami. I don't know if there's a link there, or after 1,200 episodes, you need to kind of start reusing likable like characters.
Yeah. Snake has a hat. I don't know why her snake has a hat. I'm sure he's distinct. Next
That
one we
Bogart.
got yeah. Whitebeard. He's
Cool.
acting like he's in charge. Bro, Whitebeard, these are what's his name? Prince Groose vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
where
are,
it's
are you
like
proud of me too, Rocks?
exactly. It's like they're all like, bro, why are you acting like you're in charge? And I don't know if that's supposed to be like a Zoro, Sanji kind of development kind of thing, but I don't know. And then I'm like,
Um,
are you their chopper, Kaido?
well, it gave me more of like Trafalgar or Kid. Like, hey, I was gonna do that, Luffy. You don't need to tell me. I'm not your subordinate type shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're teaming up for this.
Like
But
they call us
notably,
the Rocks Pirates. We're just on your ship right now.
yeah, we can't. It was just more.
Convenient for
My
us to
ship was
travel
being
together.
repaired.
Yeah.
That's it.
My crew's not here. That's all. Okay.
No scar on Whitebeard. So is this where Garling gives it to him?
Shiki.
We haven't seen a lot of Shiki.
I think this
I
is
do
where he
want
gets the
more.
fruit because I feel like a fruit that can help you levitate things and fly, that's got to be in there. But why would they not talk about it already? Never mind. Scratch that. Shiki's got his Delphi fruit already. He can fly and shit.
No, I like it because even Oda said that it's supposed to be a rare ability.
I I really
So
think you should
I
watch
do
that
like
movie.
the
I
idea.
think you'll
I,
like that movie.
I do like the idea of it being in here. Well, I know Oda didn't actually want any flying ability,
Yeah.
but then he put Shiki in
Well,
eventually.
they put it and they had to confer with him. And so he's like, this is the only way it'll work kind of thing. Because that was a
Sure.
movie studio buying it out. Who else we got? I guess we talked about, Kaido. You got anything to say about Kaido being the youngest member?
No, this is I mean, he's getting sunned by a few people on the squad. Like, hey, shut the fuck up. Like, you're here, follow my lead. But I mean, he comes out of this as one of the strongest pirates in the ocean. So at the end of the day, this is a good event to have under your belt and survive. So not bad.
And the last two, Stussy and John. Stussy, okay, I can tell why. Like, I could, I could tell why you're so attached to that kid because it's like, you on this guy, I guess. Like, I get it. Like
Uh,
the way like she treats Weevil is very strange. And it seems like almost like you're forcing the idea that you're Whitebeard's son onto the kid. Well, he's a grown man now, but it's like at the same time, you don't get a lot of people the size of Whitebeard, the strength of Whitebeard, that can grow a mustache like that. So I don't know,
yeah.
but I do think there's some foul play when it comes to Stussy and Weevil. Um, I'm
As
I'm
in?
I'm with the bad clone. I'm with the
Oh,
first
okay, okay,
clones
okay.
don't go right.
No, hey, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Stussy. We know that there's two of them. One of them is a vampire, and the other one is aging. Which one came first? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. But
I think they were both made at the same time,
hmm.
and then like Stussy's worked, Newgate's didn't. And it could be because he's like, I don't know, a buccaneer or something, and they didn't have that factor in or anything. She's just a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, they can clone humans. Like, that ain't hard for these people to do, I guess. But I don't know. Last name,
uh,
John. John's treasure. Thriller bark. You know what I mean? That's where it was found. That's where Buggy was going to look for it.
and I'm sorry. Where is Thriller Bark again? I forget. Is that also God Valley?
It's in the Grand Line. I think it's God Valley because it's
No,
like,
no, I know. That's
oh,
what I'll say.
oh, that's for the. But yeah, we have plenty of videos talking about how we think Thriller Bark is the same as God Valley. It's just a chunk that they somehow transported to the Grand Line. I mean, who knows? Who knows what extent Kuma's abilities could be? You know what I mean?
I mean, quick little my this is my head theory. I mean, Newgate gets the Quake fruit here and accidentally unleashes it and it splits God Valley in half or some shit and then boom, you got Thriller Bark.
And then
It's
Kuma, we don't know what happened in between. Kuma could have
yeah,
teleported the whole island somewhere
yeah.
else. You know what I mean? We
Oh,
don't know
that'd be
what
tight.
extent his powers go, especially if he has traumatic experiences and if he has Conqueror's hockey. We haven't seen that yet.
Hmm.
That being said, enough about the Rocks Pirates. We also see a flashback of the Roger Pirates. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Scopper, shout out.
Yeah, Scopper who came up here recently. Roger says something weird that I found weird in the manga as well. He says specifically it's been a year, a whole year since what? Like since he saw Rocks last.
Maybe.
I wonder if that means something specific, like where was he a year ago type shit. I don't know.
But
But
then,
then we
I mean,
see
Garp shows
Garling and
up.
the God's Knights. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Garp
and
shows
then the
up as
Garp.
well, and he's like, "Bro, this is such a battle." It's like, okay, this if I was a slave, I would be like, "We're over here." I don't know why all three of y'all showed up to not free us. Why'd y'all show up to fight here? Like, you guys could have fought anywhere else. Like, could y'all help us, please? Yo, the
So, and
revolutionaries, out of all those three parties, do nothing for these people. The revolutionaries show up and help, are formed and help.
so Garling is amongst two of the God's Knights, but one of the God's Knights has that Elbaf head that
Oh, the skull.
that that Road used. I thought I felt I was immediately attracted to that too. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder
Definitely
why
mystical
that's there.
looking guy.
Yeah, Bogart here. So everything's calm now, guys. We're good. Not that Garp's here, but Bogart's here. So
Ivankov and Kuma made it to the treasures, and they take. I forgot about this part where they take out some devil fruits and then Big Mom sneaks them. I'm like, that is terrifying. You know what I mean? She
yeah,
just like rushed him and clawed him. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Ivankov doubled down though. He's like, nah, we came here for business. You know what I mean? So Kuma, eat the devil fruit. Also,
imagine how the world changes if Ivankov eats the Azure Dragon Devil Fruit, and then just for the hypothesis or hypothetical sake, Kuma gets the hormone fruit. he's, he's actually able to turn Yamato
I don't.
into Odin.
Well, the Straw Hats wouldn't be here. Well, I don't think they would even. They'd be like, all right, Kuma, we don't need to experiment on this. We can make clones already. We don't need the help.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
yeah,
Kuma. I mean, Kuma. So Kuma eats the pawpaw fruit, as we all know, but he gets his ass whooped from Saturn here, and Saturn stops him.
yeah, he does his hockey blink. I'm like, Ivankov?
That eye thing though, how like it faded besides his eye. I thought that was a pretty cool artistic choice. Um, but notably, somehow Kuma escapes this interaction. I don't. That opens the question to how did this happen? Why did this happen?
All of this
How
is
do you
happening
escape?
on Saturn's watch, right? Saturn had
Yes.
him. So this
Yes.
makes the most sense why he made Kuma into a slave before he made him to a robot, because he's like, you're gonna suffer for making me look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I have a personal
Oh
vendetta
wow.
against you. That's your wife. We're gonna experiment her. That's your kid. Like, we're gonna kill her too. Like, oh, okay, fine. We won't kill her, but we're gonna torture you. All right, that's the deal. Like, I can see why Saturn just does not like Kuma. But yeah, like you said, Kuma gets out of this and he's just praying at a church.
Yeah, and name drop for the epitaph for his ability, Hands of Liberation. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I like that.
Carve
I
those
mean the
God Valley,
backlog.
like, I bet you those God, if God Valley is still standing, those two, like, mountains, they're gonna be hands. Those are gonna be the hands of liberation praying.
That and I've heard that's why it's called God Valley because you have the pray hands. Who knows? Um, I like it. I like it quite a bit. It always reminds me of what was the holes where he's like, it looks like your thumb, and it was
Oh, God's thumb.
God's thumb. That's what it was. But then so we're back on effort Sorbet Kingdom, and then Ivankov leaves, and then Ginny and Kuma are left to I guess fend for themselves. Then we get A's drops here. Kuma's 9, and she's 4 years older, so she's 13. And they've both been slaves since they were 4 years old. That's crazy.
Which explains why Jenny's more of a, because she's gone through the trauma. She's like, all right, now I've been a slave for 9 years, almost 10 years. Like, okay, like I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm trying to get out of here. You know what I mean? I know I've seen the weakness that you guys have. I've seen vulnerabilities in your guys' armor. Like, I think I can do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you get your little Kuma squad. Some kids are bullying him a little bit, but Kuma, uh, like they get hurt, but Kuma takes away the pain, and they're like, "Oh, Kuma's not a bad guy. I still don't believe you're 9, but you're not that bad." And so, he's getting his scabbards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought this was adorable. I mean, this is, as you guys know, this is Bonnie's crew. This is Bonnie's future crew right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's true.
And,
That's true.
I thought this was like him like skedaddling up, and then he's like, "How old are you?" And he's not, and then they just
They
go back
talk
and
about
whisper,
it.
and then they just throw rocks. I thought that part was pretty cute. It's it's tough because the last couple episodes have been, I'm gonna kill your dad, and then we're gonna laugh and smile a little bit. Then I'm gonna kill your mom, laugh, smile, and then I'm gonna kill you. It's like, oh my god, dude! Like this has just been
Yeah.
back and forth.
But they are in better times. They're able to make money by
Hmm.
chopping wood. They're making enough money to eat, and they're full. And this is why I wanted to bring up the part about the eyes and the
Hmm.
perspective in the very beginning, because every time like these things are happening, you're going through Kuma's memories as he's actively thinking of them before he makes these
Mm.
decisions. And so he sees Jenny and she's like, I'm full. And she stops and then she starts crying and she's like, I'm full. And he's thinking about his mom and dad back when he was a kid, becoming a slave, getting tortured, like escaping. And like all this time, like he just remembered, and she probably just remembered, that's why she started crying, that they haven't had a full meal in years. For Jenny, it's been
Yeah,
a decade since she had a full meal. And like that's like them figuring out like, yo, we're free. Like we can finally like just be like, yo, being a slave is fucked up. But it's like once like that's the thing Luffy fights for in every arc.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Is so that was all Wano was, that so his friends could be full. So that's what these two achieved, and you're watching it in real time from Kuma's perspective. Um, it shows like their
And
connection and why he has such a connection with Bonnie.
and while you were saying that, it's also a good time to remember Bonnie also got a peek into his memories. These could be key things that she also witnessed in that memory bubble that Vegapunk was holding.
Yeah, this we're actively going through because this is Bonnie
Yeah,
dying, being squeezed,
boom.
like all the blood's rushing to her brain, and she's like,
I
yeah,
okay, boom.
yeah,
I
like,
think you're on.
yeah.
Yep, I think you're on
This
it.
is the only way
Right.
we know about any of this because Kuma's not thinking this. Like, whenever we have these flashbacks and like these arcs, it's like somebody is actively thinking of these flashbacks, which is why
Mhm.
they blend so well because you'll have different characters thinking of different things at the same time. Right before we end the show, my favorite like flashback like string of events will always be Dressrosa. Like the plot
For
with
law?
not even like love, just like the plot with Rebecca's dad, like
Oh, yeah.
being like a toy, being forgotten, being like that. Like once like all that pieces itself together, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? We've seen this flashback so many times of them in the rain with like the toy, like finding Rebecca and stuff like that, and like all these flashbacks of the toy. But now, from the perspective of that's her dad, it's wild. Oda's really good at that.
Oda is super good at that. I mean, dude, like you were saying that the eye thing, those are just artistic gold, like pieces of gold that Oda and his team are just putting in here, and I'm here for it, dude. The animation has just been on a whole other level this new arc.
Yeah, this is the stuff like when the arc started and we are looking at stuff like let's say um all of them on the ship when the giant sea monster or sea king was coming. It's like when the art
Mm,
changed and it got a little bit darker and it's like, oh, this is the darkness that
yeah,
this art was made for. It wasn't made for those happy go lucky times in Egghead. It was made for this. But yeah, you guys let us know how you guys feel about the chapter. We have a obviously we got another video coming next week with the new episode. I didn't watch the preview. Kev, did you?
yeah. It's Kuma and Jinny just a little bit older, and they're taking over. I think this is where Kuma takes over the Sorbet Kingdom from a tyrant, like the true tyrannical leader that was there before. But I mean, we'll find out next week. I'll have to go back and read the chapters to make sure.
Nice. Well, you guys let us know how you guys feel about the episode, and we'll be back next time.
Peace.